Keeping it in the hood, we keeping it real right here. He might not be able to say it, but I'm gonna say it, all right? The man got some, are they murder charges or attempted murder charges?
Murder charges.
Murder charges, straight up. So outside of Jeezy, are there any other beefs that you feel that you have? I mean, I ain't even gonna ask you to name no names specifically,
Yeah,
but...
there's a lot of fuck niggas I don't like.
All right, no doubt. So that situation that we were just talking about with the charges and so forth, do you feel like it was a setup because cats came like after you, like they was coming to get you?
Yeah, I think it was a setup.
Even though it was self-defense, do you ever think about that and you think like maybe I could have handled that different, especially when you did like the diss record?
He needed to be in the ground. Put his ass where he supposed to be. He tried.
That's the old Gucci still there.
If you made it here, that means you're hood educated. And I respect that. Let me drop some street knowledge, some real wisdom, and a little bit of game from a hood brother's perspective. Straight to you wherever you at. Now listen up, this one's gonna get interesting. Before we jump into it, do me one quick favor. Don't forget to smash that like button right now. Some of you keep watching without showing love. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button too if you haven't already, so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, now let's get into this wild situation. So word on the streets is, people are accusing Jeezy of being a snitch. Yeah, you heard that right.
Do you have any, like, indications on who it might be? Have you heard anything on the streets? Just whatever you feel in your own heart?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, ain't too many people got the motive to do some shit like that. I just like a detective, learn, you know what I'm saying, look at the motive, who has motive to do it. And this fuck nigga, the only nigga has motive.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
What's going on with you and Jeezy?
I don't fuck with a nigga, he a pussy.
All right.
Straight
So,
up.
what's got you feeling that way, man?
Niggas just be doing little bitch ass shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit a bitch would do, you know what I mean? Like a little bitch.
All right. So where's all that coming from? Because, I mean, y'all had the song together. It seemed like the relationship was going along pretty all right. You know, y'all both repping the A.
I thought it was a real nigga, man, but you know.
Now me personally, I don't even be caring about that kind of talk anymore because most of it be just noise. But for the sake of understanding how things really go down in this hood world, let's break it down carefully. I listened close to what that FBI agent said in the clip, and not once did I hear the man say anything about Jeezy being a snitch. Not once. I replayed it, caught every word, and still nothing. The agent never said rapper number one, who we all know is Jeezy, was out here telling. Not one single time. People keep spreading this like it's fact, but I'm telling you, it's not in the recording. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's run that clip back one more time, and I want you to listen carefully this time. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me exactly where you think Jeezy supposedly snitched, cause I didn't catch it. When exactly did that man say Jeezy snitched? I must have missed it, cause I didn't hear it at all. All I caught was him talking about how he had a solid case, a few witnesses ready to testify, and that he passed everything over to the federal prosecutors. That's it. He even called it a rock-solid RICO case. But hold up, wait a second. Since when does an investigator get to decide who gets charged? That's not how this works. See, that's where people get confused. Folks think that just cause the police cuff you or sit you down in that cold little room to talk, that somehow they're the ones bringing the charges. Nah, that's not how it goes down. The cops ain't got that kind of power. Their job is to arrest you. That's it. They scoop you up, book you, and then it's up to the prosecution to figure out if the case even sticks. 9 times out of 10, them officers don't even know the real details.
I'm not going to say the guy's name because he's pretty famous, and to be fair, he was never charged with a crime. But we had these two rappers in Atlanta in the early 2000s, and they were beefing with each other, trading diss tracks, the whole thing. Then rapper number one, the famous one, orders his goons to go beat up rapper number two and steal this gaudy gold and diamond necklace he wore in all of his videos, and that's where it got interesting.
They just following orders like, yo, the DA said go grab him, we think we got something, that's all it is. Now tell me this, was Jeezy ever actually arrested? Seriously, was he? Because people keep tossing his name around, calling him a snitch, like it's proven fact. But was the man ever locked up for that? For the murder of his homie Pookie? For the home invasion with Gucci Mane? Let's be real, if he was really involved, there would have been paperwork, mugshots, something.
The goon squad shows up at rapper number two's place. He pulls a gun and starts shooting. One of the attackers gets hit, makes it about 200 yards away from the house before he drops dead. Rapper number two is arrested for murder, but is dismissed as self-defense. And the real criminal here is rapper number one, who ordered the violent act that got his man killed.
So the FBI agent said he had a rock-solid RICO case, huh? All right, let's think about that for a second. If the case was really that rock-solid, do you honestly believe that, especially back in the 2000s, a federal prosecutor or district attorney would just shrug that off? Come on now. We're talking about a famous rapper known for rapping about selling drugs, surrounded by homies who actually got locked up for that same thing. And yet, nothing happens to him. No handcuffs, no indictment, no court date, nothing.
I had the phone records and 2 witnesses prepared to testify for what would have been a rock-solid RICO murder case. But for reasons that were never explained to me, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution, and rapper number 1 went on to have a phenomenally successful career. Oh well, win some, lose some.
And remember, Jeezy wasn't shy in his lyrics either. He straight up rapped about putting $10,000 on Gucci Mane's head over that chain situation. Like, he said that publicly. So if the feds had this so-called bulletproof RICO case, why didn't they move on him? Why didn't they lock him up like they do everybody else who even breathes near a conspiracy charge? See, here's what don't add up. That case couldn't have been as rock solid as they claimed. I just can't buy that a federal district attorney would look at a famous rapper bragging about street activity and say, nah, let's pass on this one. No way! Especially not in that era. Back then, they loved making an example out of rappers. But here's the twist. Nowadays, the tables are turning.
Case. But for reasons that were never explained to me, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution, and rapper number 1 went on to have a phenomenally successful career.
The FBI and the DA office has been catching L's lately when it comes to rappers with real money and serious lawyers. Yeah, they still brag about that 98% conviction rate, but that number don't mean much when you start counting the big names who've slipped right through their fingers. These rich rappers ain't easy targets anymore. So looking back, it makes zero sense that they turned down a supposedly airtight case. That's why I'm saying this whole rock-solid RICO claim doesn't hold weight. It sounds more like talk, something to make people think there was more to it than there really was. And that's where the confusion starts. Just because an FBI agent says something don't make it fact. But the streets ran with it saying they had Jeezy in a rock-solid RICO. Like that line alone was proof. But come on, if the case was that strong, we'd have seen Jeezy in cuffs a long time ago. Let me break down what that really means next, because this part right here says a lot about how the system works and how rappers move through it. Let's be real, most people from the streets can't stand the police, straight up. And when it comes to the feds, that hate goes to another level. I'm talking next level hate. Street dudes don't just dislike them, they despise them. But suddenly, out of nowhere, everybody's out here quoting a federal agent like he's the truth teller of the century. This man steps up talking about, yeah, I had a rock-solid RICO case, I had phone taps, I had 2 witnesses ready to testify, and now folks just eating that up like gospel. Come on, that's wild. Think about it, these same street guys who yell, never trust the feds, are now turning around believing everything this ex-agent says? That's crazy, especially when dude ain't even a federal agent anymore. He's retired, which means he's got no authority, no badge, no oath. He can hop on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, and say whatever story he feels like telling. Ain't no one checking him or holding him accountable, and people are just believing it because he used to be FBI? Like that automatically makes him legit? Nah, man. Some of y'all are forgetting. Just because someone wore that badge don't mean they were clean. I'm not saying every cop dirty, but let's not act like there ain't corruption in the game. See, through my time in the streets, I saw it firsthand. You'd be shocked at how many crooked cops I ran into. Dirty ones, the kind who'd plant drugs on people, drop fake evidence, steal cash and dope, and still smile for the cameras like they serving justice. I seen it all, man. Let me give you an example of how cold these dudes can be. One time, the homicide detectives came and picked me up right in front of the whole hood. Yeah, they made sure everybody saw it. They wanted to make a scene, lights flashing, doors slammed, the whole neighborhood watching like it was a movie. That's how they play psychological games, intimidation tactics, trying to break you down before you even hit the station. So miss me with this idea that everything coming out of an ex-Fed's mouth gotta be the truth. These are the same type of people who'll twist a whole story just to make it sound good for a headline or an interview. Man, listen to this. One day, the police pulled up out of nowhere. Homicide detectives too, like they were on a mission. They came through, lights flashing, crowd watching, and boom! Next thing I know, they grabbing me right in front of everybody, called me out by my street name too, loud as hell, like they wanted the whole block to hear. They searched me down, made sure I wasn't strapped, no gun, nothing, and then they sat me right in front of the police car. Then the detective jumps behind the wheel, puts me in the front seat, and takes off. Right there, in front of the whole hood. All the lords out there just staring like, yo, what's going on? He drove me all through North Minneapolis like he was on some type of tour. We passing through every hood, the GD's block, the Crips block, the real spots where people knew me, and I'm just sitting there thinking, why the hell is he doing this? But I couldn't say nothing. I just played it cool. Eventually, he pulled up to the homicide station, threw me in that cold, empty room, and left me there till like 2 in the morning, then let me go. Just like that. At the time, I didn't get it. I really didn't understand what that man's play was. But later on, it hit me like a ton of bricks. He was trying to get me killed. I can already hear some of y'all saying, come on, Hood, how he trying to get you killed, man? He just rode you around and dropped you off. But nah, let me break it down. When that detective picked me up in front of the whole neighborhood, sat me in the front seat of that cop car, not the back like a regular arrest, he was sending a message. By doing that, he made it look like me and him were cool, like we had some kind of connection, that I was cooperating, maybe even feeding him info. You gotta understand, in the streets, that's the worst look you can have. That's how rumors start, how you end up with people whispering your name, calling you a snitch, plotting behind your back. And the fact that he drove me through every neighborhood I had ties in, that wasn't random. That was intentional. He wanted people to see me riding shotgun in a cop car, smiling next to a homicide detective. That's the kind of thing that can get you set up, jumped, or worse. Looking back, I see exactly what he was doing. It was psychological warfare. He wasn't just trying to scare me, he was trying to make the streets turn on me. That's why I say, never be so quick to trust what you see or what you hear, especially when it comes to the feds or the police. See, by that detective scooping me up and leaving me sitting at the homicide station till 2 in the morning, then letting me walk out free, he was sending a message, not to me, but to the vice lords. The way it looked from the outside, it was like, yo, they grabbed Lord, and he ain't been back since. You know how that sounds in the streets. Word spreads fast. Folks start whispering, Lord must be downtown talking. Lord probably snitching. That's exactly what that cop wanted. That's how slick and crooked some of these officers are. They know the game. They know how the streets think, and they'll twist it to turn people against you without ever pulling a trigger. I'm not saying that FBI guy in the Jeezy situation was the same type of dirty cop, because I don't know him personally, but I'm giving y'all a real-life example of how this stuff works, how law enforcement can play mind games, manipulate situations, and destroy reputations without any proof at all. A lot of them ain't clean, man. Some of them downright grimy, lying, planning stuff, stealing, twisting facts just to make themselves look right. They'll use psychology, fear, and reputation to get what they want, and that night, that's exactly what they tried to do to me. But see, what they didn't count on was that the lords knew me. They knew my name, my integrity, my pedigree. They knew what I stood for. I wasn't some fake dude they could flip. I'd earned my stripes, and my people knew it. So when words started floating around like, he must be talking, they didn't buy it. They looked at the situation and said, nah, that don't sound right. If Lord was talking, the whole hood would be getting hit right now. And they were right. Because if I really had said something, the feds and the cops would have been running through every block in North Minneapolis, locking everybody up. There would have been raids, charges, chaos. None of that happened. Nobody got picked up, nobody got hit with a case, nobody got touched. That whole situation was dirty from top to bottom. They were trying to put me in a position where my own brothers would turn on me, where they'd believe I'd snitched and handle it the street way. That was the plan. They wanted to create confusion, get me labeled, and let the hood take care of the rest. But it didn't work. It completely backfired. They tried to set me up for failure, maybe even death, but it didn't go the way they hoped. And that right there shows you how low some of these law enforcement types will go. That's not justice, that's manipulation, that's entrapment. And I know I'm not the only one who's been through it. I bet there are brothers, real gangsters, watching this right now who've had similar experiences. Some of y'all been planted on, framed, or set up by cops who thought they could play with your life like it was a game. Drop it in the comments if you've been there, because this happens way more than people think. But anyway, let's bring it back to young Jeezy, because this is where people losing track of reality. Everybody online quick to call this man a snitch, but where's the proof? I ain't seen a single piece of paperwork tying him to somebody who got locked up because of him. Not one court document, not one statement from someone doing time saying, yeah, Jeezy told on me. Nothing. People love to throw that word snitch around like it's candy, but that's a serious accusation, especially when you're talking about somebody who's been in the game as long as Jeezy. If there was even a shred of real evidence, we'd all know by now. You can't hide that kind of thing forever. Street talk travels faster than anything. But what's happening is folks are just piling on, repeating what they heard with zero facts to back it up. It's like a trend. One person says it, then everyone runs with it without even checking. That's dangerous. That's how reputations get destroyed and lives get put in danger for no reason. Now let me keep it real for a second. There are certain things that can happen in the streets that make you stop and think, hold on, something ain't right here. You might not have proof, you might not have paperwork, but your instincts start ringing alarm bells. I get that. Sometimes the vibe just feels off, and I understand why some people start questioning things. They're not being paranoid, they're just paying attention. See, in the game, you don't always get that paperwork showing someone snitched right away. A lot of times you don't find out until it's too late, until you already behind them bars. That's when it hits you. When you finally see the documents and realize that the same dude who was smiling in your face was the one who gave your name up. And plenty of people in the comments can testify to that. Some of y'all been through it yourselves. You be chilling in the hood, living that street life, and suddenly something feels off. You see a dude move funny, or his story don't match up. You tell yourself, nah, that don't look right, but I can't prove it yet. Then months later, boom, you get locked up, they hand you your paperwork, and you see exactly who was talking. That's when you go, I knew it! I felt it from the start. That's real talk. But here's the difference. That's not what's happening with Jeezy. Big Meech been sitting locked up for years now, decades even. And still, not one single piece of paper has come out linking Jeezy to any snitching. Not one witness saying, yeah, he told on me. Not one inmate coming forward saying, he gave me up. Nothing. And you know, in this culture, if somebody really did tell, it always comes out eventually. People talk, paperwork leaks, stories spread, but with Jeezy, dead silence. The only reason people even started questioning him now is because of that retired FBI agent talking about how he had a so-called rock-solid RICO case. Let's lay this out clearly. That case was never prosecuted, and young Jeezy was never arrested, not once. So how did we suddenly jump from that to calling the man a snitch? That don't add up, not one bit. I might be one of the few saying this out loud, but I just don't believe Jeezy snitched, period. And let me make this clear, ain't nobody paying me to say that. Jeezy didn't slide me no money or call me up like, yo, Hood, here's a couple bands, go clear my name. Nah, it's not like that at all. I'm just speaking on what I see, what's real, and what actually makes sense. Because when I line up everything that's out there, every detail, every so-called fact, it just doesn't fit the snitch label. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I know for sure the man didn't talk. I wasn't there, but based on the evidence we got, or better yet, the lack of evidence, I'm not about to call him something that's serious without solid proof. Because once you put that label on somebody, it sticks forever. And if it ain't true, that's foul. And honestly, at this point in life, I'm past all that street drama. That lifestyle ain't got nothing to offer me no more. I'm not out here trying to judge who did what, who told who didn't. It's beneath where I'm at mentally now. But what I do care about is fairness. Because too many times people get their names dragged through the dirt for clout with zero facts behind it. We gotta keep it real and stay 100 when we're breaking these stories down. If there ain't no paperwork, no arrests, no witnesses saying, yeah, he told, then we gotta stop tarnishing that man's image just to keep the rumor mill spinning. At the end of the day, this is hood educated, not lame related. So let's keep it solid. No fake narratives, no weak gossip, just truth and perspective from a real place. Peace and love to all of y'all out there. Take care of yourselves, stay sharp, and keep your name clean. And if I said something today that made you think a little deeper, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. I'll catch y'all on the next one.